Have you ever wondered if there might be some piece from your favorite movie where actors were not acting but showing their true feelings? Well, in this video we're going to share with you 10 moments when actors weren't acting. And some of these moments will shock you to the core. So let's get started. Number 1, The Shining. Some movies stick with you, like The Shining. This is because of how powerful it is and also because of who made it. A bit of a stickler, Stanley Kubrick was known as the man behind the camera. Okay, more than just a bit. He made movies that were more than just movies. They were full-on experiences. He locked Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall up in a scary, empty hotel for the winter in The Shining. Doesn't that sound like a fun job? But the place slowly makes them both crazy and things get weird. Every scene of the movie is like a work of art because it's full of meanings. There was a lot of hard work that went into making that classic, especially for Shelley Duvall. Because Kubrick was so careful about details, he pushed her hard. And I mean hard. He yelled at her and made her do parts over and over again. It was a living hell for her on set. His goal was to make her character's fear and nervousness seem as real as possible, so he did what he did. In making of The Shining, his daughter, Vivian Kubrick, told everyone how her dad did crazy things to get Shelley to give that performance. As exciting as it is to watch the movie, it's also pretty amazing to think about what went on behind the scenes. Number 2, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Viggo Mortensen played Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings series. He had to be serious, mean, and proper like a king. Because Mortensen was so into the part, he went a little too far in one scene. Aragorn kicks a helmet out of anger when he thinks Pippin and Merry might be dead. What's interesting is that he kicked it so hard that he broke his toes. What is that scream? Yep, that's real pain. Mortensen simply went with it, drawing inspiration from his hurt foot for the scene. He could have taken the hit better if he had those big, soft hobbit feet. A lot of hard work and an unplanned ouch came together at that moment, but it made for an unforgettable show. Number 3, The Office. On The Office, Pam, played by Jenna Fisher, has a love-hate relationship with Michael, played by Steve Carell, who is the overbearing boss. She hates him, but she cares about him deeply. So when Michael finally has to leave Scranton in the chaos at Dunder Mifflin, Pam says a quiet but touching goodbye. We can't understand what she is saying, but the way they hug makes us feel everything. In the end, Jenna told everyone that her feelings in that scene were real. She wasn't pretending. She really said goodbye to Steve Carell. She was close to him because they had worked together for years. She told Steve that was me talking to him. I told him how much I would miss him when he left our show. There were real tears and a real goodbye. It makes us cry just thinking about it. If the news of Michael's departure wasn't enough to make you cry, this behind-the-scenes information will do the trick. Number 4, It. There was a sneaky plan behind the 2017 version of It to make sure the kids in it were really scared. It was not until the right time that the creepy clown played by Bill Skarsgård was shown to the young players. There were no early looks or sneak peeks. There was only tension. The kids didn't know what was going to happen when they sat down to film the projector scene. They were shocked when the clown slowly showed up on the TV. Finn Wolfhard and the others were not playing. They were really scared. How did they look? Worth a lot. It was like being scared for the first time, making the scary thing seem even more real to everyone watching. Number 5, Inglourious Basterds. When it came to shooting that intense scene in Inglourious Basterds where Diane Kruger's character gets choked, Quentin Tarantino went the extra mile with his usual high standards. You may believe they would lie, right? But Tarantino, not so much. He thought doing it would be the only way to make it look real. As a result, Diane Kruger agreed to let Tarantino choke. Despite having a red face, swollen veins, tears, and everything else, they did it to get the right shot. That shows commitment. Of course, people then began to ask questions. Was it her agreement? What did she think of all that? Diane promptly made things clear. She took to Instagram to clear the air, saying that working with Tarantino was nothing but a blast. She said he respected her perfectly and never ever made her do something she didn't want to. So even though it sounds a little crazy, Diane was all for it and was happy with how it was managed. In Tarantino's world, life goes on as usual, and real means really real. Number 6, Fight Club. Ed Norton and Brad Pitt play two guys whose friendship is crazy and hard to understand in Fight Club. They are the same person, so be warned. Pitt's character of Tyler Durden's all about getting into fights and escape his boring, selfish life. Someone played by Norton hits Pitt in the ear in one scene. Pitt's shocked response, why the ear, was not planned. It really surprised him. Norton didn't mean to hit him that way. He was going for a shoulder jab instead. The director told Norton in a whisper right before the scene to go for the ear instead. That's why Pitt really did look confused when the punch hit. There was a fun moment behind the scenes that shows that even in a movie with a lot of planned chaos, things can go wrong, and the scene's even more memorable because of how the players really felt. Number 7, Django Unchained. Leonardo DiCaprio goes straight to the top of our list of stars who went all the way. Calvin Candy, a mean farm owner in Django Unchained, is the role he plays. At one point in the movie, DiCaprio's character tries to scare Broomhilda, who's played by Kerry Washington. He gets so into the act that he really slams his hand on a table. What happens next? The bloody hand of DiCaprio comes up. During the scene, he cut himself, but he didn't stop. Instead, he chose to go with it. His crazy and mean personality became very clear through the bloody hand. In other words, DiCaprio not only gave a great performance as an actor, but he also added some real-life drama. That he really went for it shows that he's not afraid to do his best for a part. It's a great example of how committed some actors are to making their roles come to life. Number 8, The Wolf of Wall Street. The Wolf of Wall Street's about a crazy world of stockbrokers, and Leo DiCaprio plays the most powerful and successful one. In a memorable scene, DiCaprio's character talks with Matthew McConaughey's character, who plays his boss. McConaughey steals the show, even though his part isn't very big. The best part of this scene is when McConaughey's character beats his chest to get excited. And this is not just a weird move. McConaughey uses it as an acting method to get into character. It's a little strange, but it fits right in on Wall Street, where everything is high stakes and crazy. Martin Scorsese, the director, chose to leave this strange scene in the movie instead of cutting it. It's now one of those scenes that you'll never forget because it shows how crazy and crazy big the business world is. Number 9, Good Will Hunting. Will, played by Matt Damon, is a math genius in Good Will Hunting who has trouble reaching his full potential because of a scary past. Robin Williams plays Will's therapist, and his job is to help Will see how valuable he is and get past his mental blocks. However, Will can't help but spend his time with his friends, many of whom are Afflecks, which can be annoying. During a breakthrough treatment session, one of the most memorable parts of the movie takes place. The character played by Robin Williams tells a funny and touching story about his late wife. He remembers a funny time when his wife farted in the middle of the night. So she wouldn't have to feel bad, he took the blame. The best part is where there was no plan for this scene at all. The laughter between Damon and Williams is real, and it happens on its own. This moment's so special because Williams has a knack for telling stories and making important things funny. This scene's a great example of how real moments can make a movie even more remembered. And number 10, Casablanca. This movie, Casablanca, was made in 1942, right in the middle of World War II. This gave the scenes a lot of emotional power. The movie's about the war, so the emotions it made everyone feel were very strong. This includes the actors and the people who watched it. One great scene is where the people in Rick's nightclub try to drown out some loud Nazis by singing Les Marseillais, which is France's national song. The scene is filled with honest, deep feelings. The artists' tears and the way they played their parts were not just for show. They were alive during the time that the Nazis ruled France, so their feelings were really real. What makes Casablanca so unique is that you can really feel the actors' fears and dreams through the screen. Their real-life problems and feelings are woven into their roles, which makes every scene feel real and very moving. The movie shows not only a story that takes place during a war, but also the worry and hope that people had at the time. Part of what made Casablanca such a classic is that it's not just a story, it's also about how people really felt when the world was at war. So which of these shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed our video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.